Baby boomers, born roughly between 1946 and 1964, experienced a transformative era of cinema, especially as Hollywood shifted from the polished, studio-dominated golden age to more complex and sometimes subversive storytelling in the 1960s and 70s. Their defining movies reflect major cultural shifts from post-war optimism and the rise of counterculture to increased skepticism of institutions and authority. Here's a list of some of the defining movies for baby boomers. Rebel Without a Cause, 1955. This movie, starring James Dean, spoke to the emerging idea of teenage angst and rebellion. Dean's character became a symbol of youthful alienation, and the film resonated deeply with boomers as they began to carve out a distinct identity in American culture. Psycho, 1960. Alfred Hitchcock's thriller was a cultural phenomenon that shook audiences with its psychological horror and broke traditional Hollywood norms with its depiction of violence and sexuality. It introduced boomers to the idea of horror that was grounded in psychological disturbance rather than supernatural forces. To Kill a Mockingbird, 1962. Based on Harper Lee's novel, this film tackles racial injustice through the eyes of a child, Scout, and her father, Atticus Finch, a morally upright lawyer. For boomers, it was an early exposure to themes of civil rights and justice, aligning with the growing civil rights movement. Dr. Strangelove, 1964. Stanley Kubrick's dark satire on nuclear war captured the Golden War paranoia that pervaded the era. Its humour and criticism of government institutions reflected a skepticism that many boomers adopted as they grew older. The Graduate, 1967. Starring Dustin Hoffman, The Graduate is a coming-of-age story that reflects the disillusionment and uncertainty felt by many boomers as they entered adulthood. Its famous line, "Plastics," symbolises a fear of a hollow, materialistic future, and the film's ambiguous ending resonated with audiences unsure of their path. Easy Rider, 1969. Easy Rider epitomised the countercultural movement of the 1960s, focusing on freedom, rebellion, and the open road. With its soundtrack and portrayal of a nomadic lifestyle, it became a defining movie for boomers, embracing or sympathising with the era's free-spirited values. 2001, A Space Odyssey, 1968. This Kubrick sci-fi epic redefined the possibilities of visual storytelling and introduced deep philosophical themes about technology and humanity. Boomers were captivated by its exploration of human evolution and the unknown, coinciding with the space race and the technological innovations of the era. Midnight Cowboy, 1969. One of the first films to address gritty urban life, poverty, and LGBTQ+ themes in mainstream cinema, Midnight Cowboy resonated with boomers who saw it as a raw and realistic portrayal of disillusionment and the harsh side of the American dream. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, 1975. This film, starring Jack Nicholson, criticised institutional power, specifically in the mental health system. Its themes of individual freedom versus oppressive systems resonated with boomers who were increasingly questioning authority in all forms. Star Wars, Episode 4, A New Hope, 1977. Although associated with Gen X in some ways, the Star Wars phenomenon began with baby boomers who were captivated by its groundbreaking special effects, mythic storyline, and archetypal characters. It redefined blockbuster cinema and sparked a global pop culture phenomenon. Apocalypse Now, 1979. Francis Ford Coppola's harrowing take on the Vietnam War showed the psychological toil of warfare and mirrored the chaos and confusion surrounding the war itself. Boomers, many of whom had come of age during the Vietnam era, saw it as a reflection of the trauma, disillusionment and destruction associated with the conflict. Rocky, 1976. Rocky embodies themes of hard work, resilience and the American dream. Boomers connected with Rocky's determination to succeed despite the odds, symbolising hope and perseverance during difficult times. Saturday Night Fever, 1977. As disco took over the music scene, this movie captured the nightlife, freedom and cultural expression associated with the 1970s. For boomers, especially younger ones, it highlighted a time when personal freedom and exploration were paramount. The Godfather, 1972, and The Godfather Part 2, 1974. These films are not only cinematic masterpieces, but also complex portrayals of family, loyalty, and the American dream. Boomers were drawn to the moral ambiguity of the Corleone family story, reflecting a generation increasingly aware of the complexities of power and corruption. Jaws, 1975, often cited as the first summer blockbuster, Jaws brought a new type of thrilling spectacle to theatres. It was an experience as much as a film, and it revolutionised Hollywood's approach to marketing and releasing movies, paving the way for modern blockbuster cinema. These films collectively capture the spirit of the boomer generation, reflecting its shifting values, fears, aspirations, and the impact of social and political upheaval. For many boomers, these movies represent milestones in both film history and personal memory. What have I missed? Let me know in the comments below. See you on the next video.